What is happening? How you doing? As promised, here is your WordPress tutorial. Essentially, this should go over everything, all your questions about creating posts, logging in, and really what the process is for you to get your articles up on the site. So here's wonderful picture list. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to picturelist.com/login. It's that simple. And you'll be brought to this. So it's going to say login as picturelist. I created a different username to do it from your perspective. I made someone named Frank. And we're going to go from there. This is essentially as an author. Some of you might have different roles, that is editor or GIF creator, something like that. This is just a straight up as author, and you should see what it looks like. So after going to that, picturelist.com/login, you'll see this. The place that you'll go most is posts. And you'll see everyone else's posts and what they're working on, that kind of stuff. But the first thing that you are going to do as a new user is you're actually going to go down to profile. And this is important for a few things. One, you're going to put in your biographical info. And this is essentially your byline that is going to show up on the site at the bottom of every article. You're going to have your byline. Put something that's about you, and just go into it a little bit, brag a little bit about the places you've worked before. If you haven't worked before, talk about your interests. This is a nice way of showing off your character. If you just have one sentence, it's pretty weak. I look for at least 2, not 3. This is fine. Frank studied at MIT and has loved the Expo since they traded away Pedro. He's written for Rotoballer and is the founder of the Thinking Man's Game. That's great. That's fine. Nice and easy. You can go longer than that. This is pretty much the minimum amount. So make sure you go in to profile, go into your user, scroll down. I know I put this as Frank Thomas. It's beautiful, I know. But you have this. Now, your profile picture isn't going to have anything at the moment. It's very important that you add something. We'll get to that in just a second. The next thing you want to do, though, is if you have a Twitter username, put it in here. I made that one up, Frank's Thoughts. Don't really put anything else, honestly. Just put your Twitter. I guess if you want to do LinkedIn, go ahead. Just do your Twitter. That will show up as a little Twitter icon so that inside of your byline you actually have a link to your Twitter account. It's a cool thing too. But what you want to do to make this profile picture is click on this, which is Gravatar. And from here, you're going to go sign in. Now, I imagine a lot of you do not have a WordPress.com login. This is something that's very important. I'm going to say right now is going back here. If I let me log out for a second. I want to show you this. This is very important. When you log in, when you see this, I'm going to just replicate it exactly as you're going to see it. You're going to see these two options, okay? So I guess it is the same thing. You're going to see this big blue button, or you're going to see the one underneath. Click this one. Do not log in here. This is WordPress's different system. It's terrible. It's bad. Don't do it. Always do log in with username or email address, okay? I've seen some people in the past have some confusion with that. That should handle it all. Anyway, so we go back here, we go down to profile picture, we click on Gravatar, and we go to sign in over here. I have a WordPress.com thing. It's even saying which one to modify because I'm already logged in. If you don't have one, then just you have to make it with the same email address that you are signed in at WordPress, okay? So all you have to do from here is remove image, pick new image, etc. I already did it. Wonderful thing of Luis Castillo, but this is how you change your profile pic here. Pretty simple. If you have any questions about this, let me know. But it's very straightforward. And again, make sure that the one that you create a login for WordPress.com is the same one as is here for your WordPress username. Yes, this is my very, very old email for when I was a kid. I don't use this anymore, so I needed a backup one, and that's what that is. Okay, moving on. So that's very important. Byline, image, we move forward. Creating a post. This is very easy. You just go to add new. You can also do it up here as well. So we're going to do that. And we're going to write an article. We're going to do Is it legit about 3 different pitchers? Okay, so I have a very loud keyboard, and I'm very sorry about that. But first thing we're going to do, we're just going to have a basic headline. So, is it legit? We're going to do a Alberto Mondesi, Nick Pivetta, and I don't know, Jake Arrieta. Okay. So with every article, you're going to see this massive text box. This is where you're going to write the entirety of your article. If you don't see everything here, that's probably because you didn't click this button. You will probably see this. Click this button. Just do it. It will never disappear again after you do this. It will give you some other options. I've actually adjusted it so that you never have to really click it, but it's nice to see other things. You don't have to. You can just get by with this, but I click it. It's just extra stuff for you to have, okay? So we're going to write our article. It's going to be nice and simple really quickly. With every article, we're going to have some sort of introduction paragraph and then jump into it. It's another week. Okay, it's another. This is terrible. Another week in fantasy baseball land, and there are more. Which ones will stick through the year, and which will fizzle by Friday? Let's take a look. Okay, so whenever you have an article where there are different sections to it, and I really like sectioning off articles, it makes it read a lot easier instead of just massive blocks of text and giant paragraphs. If you have sectioned off, like for example, I'm going to do 3 different sections now for Alberto Mondesi. Adalberto. It's Adalberto, isn't it? Oh God, Nick. I'm bad with names, whatever. We're going to have 3 different sections for Adalberto Mondesi, Nick Pivetta, and Jake Arrieta. So what I'm going to do, with anytime you have a header, you are actually going to add a space, another space, and then center it. Don't do headers. Leave it as paragraph. Do not touch it. Do point 24. Text color, I like it as this blue here, royal blue. It's very close to our hero blue. That is the hashtag, or the hex code of 318 AED that is in the pictureless logo and across the site. So I love having this. And you're going to type Adalberto Mondesi. Okay? Make sure this is, oh my lord, I can't type right now. You're going to make this bold. And then you're going to have your paragraph about him. So, he's coming out, this is bad writing. I'm sorry, I'm just doing this really quickly. To steal 16 bases. It's wonderful. Okay? So, a couple things that I want to mention about just general formatting, and the editors will mention this later on as well. First of all, we're going to do API style. So that means that if I'm going to say he hit 3 home runs, notice that I have 3 spelled out. If it's 1 through 10 or 0 through 10, you spell it out. From 11 and higher, you write out the number. And you might also notice here that I have this weird red underline. It's not your normal squiggle. This is from Grammarly. Everyone should have Grammarly installed. It's a Chrome plugin. It's free. Same with Firefox. You just type in Grammarly into Google. It should pop up. It's this wonderful thing. Seriously, please get this. I actually have the premium. It's worth it for me considering how much I write. Just get it. It's here. Where is it? Here we go. Grammarly for Chrome. Okay? Just get it. It's incredible. It's much better. It saves your progress as long as you have a sign-in for it. You teach it your style. It's great. Just get it. Anyway, so inside of actual formatting here, what we do is the first time we mention a player, it is first and last name in bold. So Adalberto, why did I choose this? So first time we write about someone, it's their first and last name, and it is bold, okay? I would even do this. Compared to his teammates, So we would do it like this. Make sense? And 16 fewer games. This is all ridiculous. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how the formatting goes. I would say after this, Mondesi is going in the 3rd round of drafts, and he really shouldn't, but whatever. I'm just trying to articulate the point that now I'm using the last name Mondesi and not bolding him again. This is terrible. This is horrible. But I'm just trying to show you what we do. Now, let's say I want to link to something. Here he is doing great things. We generally don't link to Fangraphs pages. If you are quoting stats and numbers, you do not have to actually give a source for those numbers. It is just fact. You don't need to do that. If you want to quote an article that was written. So let's say I want to do that. And I'm sure there is one. Oh, it is Adalberto, not Adalberto. Yeah, I got it right. Adalberto. Okay. I'm going nuts right now. Let's say I were to... I'm just going to find a random article. I don't care. Okay. Spora wrote this article. Fine. If I want to do that, you just copy the link. And then you highlight the stuff that you want to link. And you paste it in. Generally, we want to link a lot over a little. So I wouldn't, for example, do just this. I would do the entirety of the sentence. It just generally looks better than just 1 or 2 words. Okay? Pretty straightforward. The next thing that I want to highlight is, let's say you have a wonderful GIF. Now, we do have this embed. For now, because this embed plugin is a little messed up, JiffyCat, as much as pains you say JiffyCat, whatever, it's GIF for the record. JiffyCat went through some changes, which means that this plugin doesn't work like it used to. So in the meantime, and I know this is very scary to look at and intimidating, it's okay. You see these 2 tabs here, visual and text. Everything is going to be written inside the visual. However, there is this text, and it looks different, and you have all these HTML codes and stuff. I highly recommend that you get familiar with them. You're not scared by it. It's really simple stuff. This is just A equals link, and then href equals the reference equals this, and then this is how a link works inside of HTML. Then you close it over here. But anyway, let's say I had a GIF I wanted to put in my article. Instead of using this JiffyCat shortcode, what we're going to do, I'm just going to upload a GIF. I have one here. It's Luis Castillo, of course. What we're going to do, this is the entire process for adding a GIF from JiffyCat on the site as of now. Okay, as I'll wait for that to encode, I'm going to show you guys one other thing. Everyone should go up to the screen options over here. The very first things you do, this will stick and be there for everything else moving forward. These are the things that should be checked. Categories, players mentioned, WP to Twitter, featured image, excerpt. You don't even need post visibility. That's it. If you see anything else, post options, send trend backs, track backs, discussion, slug, none of those other things should be checked. Okay? Make sure it's just these boxes. Uncheck that if that is there. All right? Now, look at the order. This is how I have it. You can actually move these around. It's really cool. I can put this underneath here if I wanted. I prefer going like this. It just makes things a lot smoother for me. We'll get to what each box means in a moment, but you should just have that screen option in case it's not looking like this for you. It will now. Okay, so let's go back to our GIF. We just uploaded this thing. It's wonderful. It's great. After you do it, you click See More Details, and you're brought to this. You click on this paper plane. It's for sharing. I know, this is their UI. I didn't do this. Whatever. You click Share, and then you click this Embed at the bottom, and then you copy Responsive iframe. Not the other two, just Responsive iframe. With this, we go back to our post, go into the text here, and then you paste it. Okay, it's going to look terrible inside the visual. It's going to be a big black box and everything. I highly recommend writing something after so that you can see, okay, this is like, okay, I want to do this. I'm going to write and then enter the new space. And now with this new space, highlight that and paste it in, because yeah, it looks terrible. I know. This is why I love the old embed. Unfortunately, this on the front end looks much better. I can even show it to you. At any point, you can save draft. WordPress is really good about auto-saving, so very rarely will anything ever get deleted, so don't worry about that. But I just want to show you what it looks like on the front end. If you preview it, you'll see that it's a much bigger box. Oh, right, Jiffy Cat is having problems at the very moment. It won't be when you guys read this or see this video. But this is where the GIF will be. It's nicer and wider and better. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to remove this for now because it's just disgusting and ugly, and I don't want this. Okay. So let's say this is all I wanted to say about Alberto Mondesi, which obviously you won't. When the next person I would talk to is Nick Pavetta. Remember, we're going to hit enter and then write it out. Select it, bold it, and 24, and then do royal blue. So now, remember, there is a space in between. It just looks so much better for separation, making sure there is a proper section for each one. It's really just 20 times better. Really easy to do, and it doesn't look bloated. In fact, it actually looks smoother this way. That is about it when it comes to formatting. If you want to do a table, there's just this table right here. What I highly recommend is, you can select as much as you want, spread it out, bold the top one. So let's say this is name, home runs, average, or whatever. Average, I don't really care. Bold this stuff. It just generally looks better, and then you put in the numbers that you want here, right? Doesn't matter. But generally bold the top one and then everything else. But it's pretty easy. You can actually right-click it. Go right in here and then do table properties, that kind of stuff, to manipulate it further. Cell table properties, all this stuff. Insert row after or before. So row after adds another thing. Column, insert one before, after. Pretty easy to manipulate it. Obviously, we don't really want it right now, so I'm going to move on. And then you write everything you want. It's great. Some people in their writing like to have like a final paragraph to say like, all right, I'll see you guys next week. Avoid that stuff. I've seen a lot of them in my day. I've gone back and forth on it. How I feel is for a lot of these articles, it doesn't really add much. And if anything takes it away, I think it... I remember writing those kind of things like, I hope you guys like it, and I realized it has a negative effect as a reader, less so than a positive one. We are at a point that, I'm very thankful for the readers, but asking for and check back next week, all that kind of stuff, that's not how we go about it. So just for this kind of article, we have 3 paragraphs about the thing we want to write about, and we don't need that extra last paragraph saying thanks for reading and all that stuff. Don't do that. We don't do it. Okay, so we have this article. It's wonderful. It's great. We know how to hyperlink now. We know how to format our headers, and we know how to format our players. We know how to insert GIFs. We know how to insert tables. It's all nice and wonderful. I don't think I've forgotten anything there. Oh, let's say I want to add an image. That's very good. So what I would do is, here is a Nick Pavetta chart. Okay, very simple. You go into Add Media. You're going to see the media library. It's wonderful. I'm so going to take one of these charts from Dan Richards' post about quality of contact. And these were helped with Justin Parody's fantastic graphics guy that we have. If you have any questions or things that you want to add in regards to graphics for articles, definitely reach out to Justin. He's incredible, and hopefully he can help you out. So if you upload an image, you're going to see something like this on the side. You're going to wait for it. You're going to see this. Make sure this is what you see. Alignment is none. Alignment is center. Link to media file, and then full size. Okay, so I want people to be able to click it and see a bigger image. Oftentimes that will happen, and they'll be truncated for the article to fit within the the width of the article. But I want people to be able to click it to see it larger. It just makes a lot of sense. Alignment, I always want it to be center. I don't want it to be all the way on the left or not. The stuff over here, nothing. You can add a caption. Generally, I think captions look bad. Our CSS right now is actually a little bit small for caption. I haven't taken the time to make sure that's a little bit bigger because right now it's like really hard to read. Generally, avoid caption. Title, this doesn't matter. The only thing that matters here is caption. Just leave it blank. If you want to talk about it in any way, just talk about it underneath the image. But yeah, you want to make sure center, media file, and in full size. Sometimes it's going to be small or featured. It's all that stuff. No. Don't touch that. Just make sure it's full size. So then you insert it into post, and there it is. If you want this to link to something else, which I think is a very rare thing, you can. It's very easy to do. You just click on it, and then you do Control-K, and it pops up for a link. So I can, if I wanted to go to just pictureless.com, now essentially open like that in new tab, and that will be pictureless.com. But generally, you don't want to do that. Generally, you just want it to link to, essentially what you did is just a custom link here that you just want to do to media file. Okay? I think that's about it. Poll stuff, that is for GIF creators. I will talk to you separately about that. All right, so let's say we have this wonderful post. So beautiful. It's so great. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and I really highly recommend that you have excerpt at the bottom of this. It just makes sense, one text box to the next. This is what we're going to see on the home page. So this, Perry Husband talks to Michael Augustine about pitching. By the way, if you haven't read that, go read it. It's fantastic. But what you see there is actually this text box. So if this is blank, what you'll see, and hopefully we don't have one on the homepage, and we don't because you guys are awesome. We have the best staff ever, is that it just spits out the start of the article, and it's massive and huge and looks terrible. Please fill out an excerpt, okay? So the excerpt for this will be something along the lines of Nick Pollock. I highly recommend just put in your name for this. It's fine. It's good. Some people will definitely be like, oh, cool. It's a article from, I don't know, from Mike Ahedo. I think it's Ahedo. Jado? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Of course I don't. But yeah, it's one of his articles. Great, cool. So Nick Pollock talks about 3 hot hitters and dives into their and determines if their hot streak will last. Yeah, it's a terrible sentence. You shouldn't use hot twice. Whatever, fine. Overperforming hitters and determines the hot streak will last. Okay. This means that it'll be on the homepage. It also means when we share it on Twitter, underneath that image, when it says the title and stuff, this is what will appear. So it's really, really important that we have this excerpt, okay? Now, again, of course, there are going to be editors, and I'll get to that in a moment, that are going to double check this, but please don't make them do all this work and write this. Make sure you have an excerpt. Okay, next thing to do is featured image. I put that on the bottom on purpose because oftentimes I'm going to go up from excerpt. I'm going to be scrolling up and hit featured image. So featured image is going to be one of 2 things. One, it could be a weekly piece in which we'll have a category image for it. A few of those are DFS, which DFS has one for DFS lineups. There might be like the list had one that was always consistent. I'm debating, honestly, I really love the look of sports photos for everything. And moving forward, we might do that. I know the podcast, we're going to keep that. So podcast logo is going to stay. But for the most part, I think a lot of you guys are going to have player photos for it. Now, here's the thing. At the beginning of the year, we're probably going to be refilling our bank of players. Right now, we have a ton because we just had a full season of it. However, we want newer photos. It just looks better when we have newer photos. At the start of the year, in April and May, I'm going to say for a lot of you guys to be requesting images. Right now, obviously, there's no new images because the season is over. So right now in the preseason, how this is going to work is you're going to have a player. Let's say you're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Pavetta. I'm sure I have a Pavetta photo. So you're actually going to look up Pavetta. It's great. We have one. Awesome. You can set that as featured image. Okay, it's that simple. What you do then, once you set it, is at the bottom of this caption, there is a photo credit. Photo by Kyle Ross / Icon Sportswire. This is something we're going to change for this year, is that we are going to keep it. So we're going to do photo by X, Y, and Z. You go to set featured image. But we're going to put this at the very bottom of the article now. We're just going to do it like that. Okay, make sure there's a nice space. It's at the bottom of the article. Okay, it's not going to be at the top like it used to be. It's just going to be at the bottom. We don't need to do that. We can just do, no, yeah. I like the italics. We're going to do italics at the bottom. Photo by this. You don't need to do a certain size or anything. You can just post it in just at the bottom of the article like this. Okay? Now, during the season, when we are going to be updating photos, sometimes you won't have that picture in there. I doubt we'll have, like, Josh James, for example. Oh, I do have it. It's because I wrote about Josh James and stuff. Okay. I don't know. Forrest Whitley. You know, he's not going to be in here, right? So the process of that is you are going to go to your manager, okay? You're going to go to your manager and say, hey, I need a photo of this guy. All the managers have access to Icon Sportswire. If they do not respond in 30 minutes, then go to the picture list channel and say, hey, I need an image, okay? That might change. I might make it... Yeah, no, I want to do that. That's the easiest method originally. If not, then you can actually ping the PL managers and say, hey, can someone get it for me? One of us will say, cool, we got it. And then you go and put it in, okay? But everyone along the managers has access to Icon Sportswire. And then so you just go to your manager and ask for that photo and they'll put it in for you. Well, they'll put it in here and then you'll be able to search for it. Pretty straightforward, okay? So now we have our featured image. We're going to do Pavetta. Here is WP to Twitter. I'm going to say this. There have been a lot of problems with WP to Twitter because people don't do the most required thing about it. And that is making sure that this is at the end of your tweet. Hashtag URL, hashtag. So many times we put out articles and they automatically go off to Twitter every time you post. You can see it says tweet over here. People write their custom Twitter posts, which is great because then it includes your Twitter handle. So I could say like, if I had this, make sure you don't start the tweet with your handle. If you do that, we're just going to tweet at you as a comment and our user base isn't going to see it. So do not do that. This week's, is it legit? Oh, no. I don't know. Nick Pavetta. Mondesi, I don't want to write his name again. And Arietta are covered in this week's Is It Legit from whatever my Twitter handle is. It's pictureless, but I don't want, whatever. Yeah. This is probably it. Check out this week's from talking about diving into whatever, right? Just make sure at the end of it there's that. Please do it. If you don't touch this at all, if you leave it blank, that's great. It will just send it out with the title. That's awesome. That's fine. If you have a Twitter handle and you want to promote it, that's really cool too. You just please do not make your Twitter handle the first thing, okay? And please make sure you have URL at the end. All right? That's it. I'm going to move on. Next, whenever you mention a player and that is a focal point of the article, you're going to put their name in here, okay? So this is something that I think once we get closer to the season, it'll be more of a focal point. As of now, it's not as important. But get in the habit of it now. It's a very good thing. I don't know if we have a page for him. We have Raul Mondesi. I believe that's who that is. Pavetta is in this. And then so is Arietta would be. Okay? Not Whit Merrifield. He is not a focal point of it. So I'm not going to put in Whit Merrifield. Even though I mentioned him, he's not going to be in this. The reason for this is we're going to have header pages on the site along with our picture player pages. And we're going to have related articles. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And those related articles are going to pull exactly from this. So if you don't mention that player, this article will not be on their page. So please get in the habit of doing this. You can see there's a lot already here. If they aren't here, just let us know and we'll make sure that it is, that we have that page for that player. But this is a very important step to make sure that your article is read by more people. All right, and one of the last things here is the category. I'm actually going to get rid of articles. And keep in mind that miscellaneous is automatically selected anytime you save a draft. And if there is no category selected, it automatically goes to miscellaneous. Okay, so please do not select miscellaneous. What happens if you have miscellaneous selected, which it does in our preview. Let's see if this mistake was made. It wasn't. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. These boxes here, this one going deep and rankings, it's just showing the category selected. All of them, actually. So if you select multiple categories, it's going to be multiple boxes, and it looks terrible. So you can see here, because we don't have a category selected, it's just MISC, looks really bad. And if we did this, if we did MISC and then also batter's box, for example, then actually this would show both of them. I don't like that. Looks really bad. See, batter's box, miscellaneous. It just looks bad. Do not do this. Please just have one category selected. So for this, it's going to be, is it legit? I'm going to get rid of the articles header. It just serves zero purpose at this point. I don't think anyone is going through the quote articles and quote archive. It's just everything. So, I mean, save for like a couple things. We're just going to get rid of that. So you don't even need to think about it. Just click the one thing that it is. If you don't have a good category, you see one here that would be assigned to you, just let me know. I can add it. That's simple. Don't just guess at it. Ask your manager. We can add it. Pretty easy. Okay, but this is very simple. This is a classic article. Is it legit? You click it. You're done. That is it, though. That is it. You've written your article. You did everything you need to do to fine tune it. I mean, this is assuming that this is. I'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, it's ready to go. So now you do two things. One, you click submit for review. I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to delete this post. You click submit for review, to which you can edit it, I believe. If you can't, then that's how that is. But if you can't, then you just message the editor, or you just go into the editor's thing. Okay, I need to make a change. I'm pretty sure you can. Actually, fine. Let me test it. Submit for review is not publish. I mean, you can edit it here after. I'm just seeing if you go into here. Pending. Yeah, you can edit it again. It's fine. Good. Submit for review just is a way of notifying editors, hey, this is ready to go. It's not just a draft. It's ready to go. I hit submit for review. Then I go into Discord, into the wonderful... you guys can see when I'm recording this. You can go into the wonderful PL article schedule, where then you're going to announce it with the date, the name of it, and when you want it to be posted. Okay? That means essentially that those in the filing times of the editors will know, okay, that's an 8 a.m. article, or that's a 10:30 a.m. article. That means that's in my time, and I know that I need to handle it for that window. Okay? So that's the process for it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to do. Now, let's say you've written this article multiple times and you want to create it new again. This is the last thing that I want to go over. It's incredibly helpful. We have a thing called cloning articles. So I'm gonna leave this. I don't care about this anymore. Okay. Let's see. Can I do it here? I hope so. No, I can't because it's not published. Oh, this is annoying. If I had a published article, what would happen is you go into your posts, and then you can see if I hover over it, I have these options. Edit, quick edit, trash, and preview. There is another one that is clone. Clone is amazing. What it does is it replicates everything about the article, only that it just changes the hyperlink. I can't see it anymore for whatever reason. I guess it removes that. That's very strange. but it makes it -2. So before it was pitchroast.com/is-it-legit, Alberto Mondesi, Nick Pavetta, and Jake Arrieta. And then now, because I cloned it, it's just going to go -2 at the end of it. So that means actually that I can just delete it and rewrite everything inside of here. I can just delete it all, and great. And I'm going to talk about, I don't know, Josh James and Elvis Andrus, etc. Right? I'm going to write the new article, and then I just need to change. I don't need to change this. This is fine. Players mentioned. I need to do Andrus. I need to. This could be the same Twitter thing. I can manipulate it. I just have to change the featured image. I just have to update the excerpt and then write my article. But it does create the same framework. So there are certain articles I know, for example, like hitter list is a big thing that you would want to clone. Or if you're doing the stash, I would want to clone that just to see the previous weeks, and then I could move it around, that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very helpful tool. Makes it so that I don't have to do the same exact things that I do every single time over and over again. Big one. Nastiest pitches. If you're doing nastiest pitches, you want to clone every time because that framework is right there for you and you just want to adjust it. But all right, that is it. That is you submitting your first article. That is your process of getting up to date as far as adding your byline and your image and doing all the formatting. It's very intimidating at first. I hope you guys took the time to go through upwards of 35 to 40 minutes. But it will give you the ease of doing it moving forward. If you have any questions from this, talk to your managers, or just post it inside the Pitcherless channel. But that is going to be it. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'm looking forward to reading your stuff, and yeah, welcome to the team.